I'd like to call this meeting of the Terrebonne Parish Council to order, and we will have the invocation of the Pledge of Allegiance by Mr. Darren Guidry. Please rise.
Dear God, please be with us today. Please pray for all the people who are suffering from mental issues. Violence seems to be rampant in our world, and please be with us. Please help heal our wounds, and please be with this council as we deliberate the matters before us and help us make the right decisions as they affect our state, our parish, and our nation. And in Jesus Christ we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Hampton, can I please get a roll call?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Dirk Guidry, Mr. Trosclair, Mr. Pledger, Mr. Harding, Mr. Michel, Mr. Amadei, Mrs. Domain, Mr. Darren Guidry, Mr. Babin. Madam Chairwoman, you have a quorum present.
Can we please make a note that Mr. Carl Harding just walked in the meeting? Welcome, Mr. Harding. And can we also please recognize our nursing students in the audience, and thank you so much for being here. Approve the minutes of the regular council session held on March 29th, 2023. Moved by Mr. Dirk Guidry, second by Mr. Darren Guidry. Members, vote your machines. We have 8 yeas. Motion passes. Distribute the minutes of the regular council session held on April 12th, 2023. Distribute minutes of the special session condemnation hearing on April 24th, 2023. Approve accounts payable list for 4/17/2023 and April 24th, 2023. Moved by Mr. Dirk Guidry, second by Mr. Carl Harding. Members, vote your machines. We have 8 yeas. Motion passes. Approve manual checklist, March 2023. Moved by Mr. Darren Guidry. Second by Mr. Carl Harding. Members, vote your machines. We have 8 yeas. Motion passes. Item 1, general business. A proclamation proclaiming the month of May 2023 as Veterans Month in Terrebonne Parish. Mr. Brian Pledger.
Thanks, Madam Chair. I have a proclamation to the veterans here from Terrebonne Parish and everywhere else that's in between. If I can have those guys stand up for a second, please. Right. City of Houma, Louisiana, Parish of Terrebonne, a proclamation. Whereas each May we celebrate our veterans and their families, both living and deceased, for their patriotism and their contributions to our nation in times of war and peace. And whereas we as citizens are indebted to our veterans and their families for their bravery and sacrifices which have provided for many of the freedoms we cherish today, especially those veterans suffering from illnesses such as post-traumatic stress disorders and presumptive conditions, or experiencing homelessness or living as shut-ins. And whereas organizations such as the American Veteran Advocacy and Vets United work diligently to assist veterans and their families, acting as their caregivers with receiving critical benefits and health care services, and to bring about awareness of those benefits and services to veterans and their families in need. And whereas it is our obligation to ensure that those who have served and those who are serving their country and their families are recognized for their selflessness and their dedication to the preservation of the health and well-being of others through the local hometown heroes and other programs. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Terrebonne Parish Council on behalf of the Parish President, Gordon E. Dove, and the entire Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government, that the month of May 2023 be hereby proclaimed Veterans Month in Terrebonne Parish. Be it further resolved that all residents be encouraged to participate in the various events throughout the month of May to honor our veterans and their families and to recognize them for their heroism and accomplishments in serving their country and the common good. Presented this 26th day of April 2023, signed by our Parish President, Gordon E. Dove, and Honorable Jessica Domingue, our Council Chairman, and the entire Terrebonne Parish Council.
Brian, you can go bring it to him. Sir, we let you speak in just a minute? Yes.
All veterans, come on. You want to take a group picture?
I'll take a picture with you guys.
Come on, everybody, come on down. Come on. Don't be shy. Come on. Everybody down.
Over here?
Come on.
Oh, which way we going?
No, come on over here.
All right.
Come on back over here. She
Yeah, Mike. How you doing, man?
Good, sir. How you doing? Get everybody kind of squeeze in.
Squeeze in.
Am I right?
I'm going to take a picture with you.
Is all the veterans in?
Yeah, well, I'll just have you guys. There we go.
Everybody come scoot around. I'm gonna duck down.
There we go. However you want to be.
Open the. All right, guys, I'm gonna take 2 pictures.
All right, you gotta turn around.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Now if you guys can say a few words.
Yeah, you,
Let's let everybody sit down first, and then we'll let
Yeah,
you
let
say
them
a few
sit down.
words.
okay. Ham. Go on over there.
Sir, if you can please state your name and address.
My name is Riley J. Groh. I'm Vice President and Board of Directors of the Regents Military Museum. I represent them tonight. I want to thank you all for recognizing the veterans. It's kind of hard to talk about this. Vietnam's been a long time ago for me. And actually, more than 58,000 didn't come back. This is the heroes. So we thank the council. We also would like to invite y'all to the museum. We have a lot of history. Matter of fact, if you come on Monday, I'll let you get in for free. I'd like to invite the audience also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I want to thank the council for giving us the proclamation again for our second year. This year, we're doing a bigger and better thing. We've partnered with the Military Museum, and we're putting on a big event on May 20th. And we're asking that everybody can attend, please do. That day is going to be on Armed Forces Day. That's why we've chosen that special day. That day, we hope to have National Guard, Reserves, Marines, Air Force, Army, every branch of the service to attend this affair. This is going to shine better light on that museum and bring us closer together as veterans and family members. So what I'm hoping to do is to extend the olive branch to everybody. If you're a veteran or not, please attend this meeting. It's going to be free food. We've also partnered with Zydeco Harley Davis, and we're going to have a Armed Forces ride, motorcycle ride. It's going to start at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we're going to hit all of our nursing homes with all of our shut-in veterans. We have 8 nursing homes between here and Lafourche Parish. So I'm hoping that we have a good turnout that day, and the weather gives us a good day. But me and Mr. Riley, we're on the color guard for the museum. So hopefully we won't have to be the color guard. We can get the National Guard or somebody to present the colors. But anyway, if we can have the whole council there if you're available that day. We'll hold a plate for you and a space for you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnny. We'll pray for some good weather. Now, we do have a few lights. I'm sorry, do you want to speak, sir? No,
You
okay.
want to say something, Gus? Oh,
Okay.
let me introduce. This is Gus Marie. He's a Vets United member, and he's also becoming the commander of Post 272 in Montague.
American Legion.
American Legion. What did I say?
Yeah,
Oh,
272.
72.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
We have, stay up here, Mr. Johnny. We have a few lights. Mr. Dirk Gidry.
I'd like to thank all the veterans in the audience, even the ones with the waterworks. Y'all all my brothers and sisters. I served 6 years during the
Yes, sir.
end of the Vietnam War. Mr. Babin, Mr. Pledger, myself, and Carly Harding. We're the veteran. 4 veterans on here. It's the first time since I'm sitting on this council that we all have 4 veterans sitting up here. So,
Thank you.
God, I don't know exactly what you guys that served in the battlefield went through. I don't know. I don't want to know. But my heart goes out to you guys because I know deep in my heart and talking to all my veteran friends what y'all went through, So whatever y'all need from me as veterans, please ask because I'm here. Thank you all. Thank you for your
Mr. Gidry.
service.
Mr. Brian Pledger.
I would just like to share with all the veterans, myself being a veteran too as well. I can remember learning a saying back a long time ago before I went into the Navy by one of our past presidents, John F. Kennedy. He said, ask not what you can do for your country, but ask not what you can do for your country, but what your country, ask what your country can do.
What am I do for you?
Right. You know what I mean. But anyway, I was fortunate enough to serve on the USS John F. Kennedy, CV-67, okay, aircraft carrier. And I was at the helm when the first sorties went off into Saudi Arabia and Iraq. And I think that is something most notable coming back to Houma, Louisiana. But I'm going to take your invite. And I'm going to take the other gentleman's invite too.
Absolutely.
Next Monday, free.
It's free.
And I'm also going to take yours on May 20th because I have my granddaughter sitting out in the audience, and she said she's been telling me and her grandmother that she wants to go to that museum every time we passed. And I haven't done it.
Doors are open for
Now
free.
that she's here and witnessing you guys giving us a free invite, I'm going to make sure May 20th we bring her out there so she can
Yes, sir.
meet all you guys and shake your hands.
Yes, sir.
But I do appreciate and thank all you guys for your service.
You're welcome.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pledger. Mr. Babin?
Yeah, I echo those sentiments, and I keep something in my telephone, and all of us that are veterans are aware of it. I'm going to read it if you don't mind. It says, what is a veteran?
Right.
A veteran, whether active duty, discharged, retired, or reserve, is someone who, at one point in his life, wrote a blank check payable to the United States of America for an amount of up to and including his life. And unfortunately, not too many people understand that or can even feel that, okay? But those of us that serve know what that means.
Know exactly what it means.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Babin. Mr. Harding?
Yes, appreciate all you guys' service and the ladies. One thing about the world today that we have turmoil throughout the world, but the peace and the United States flag that we have flying today is a part of all of the world. And for those that are out there that never serve, they're missing a wonderful experience and the pride that all branches of the service, when we leave this continental United States and go abroad, the feeling that you have that you're going to protect the citizens and everything about the United States. So therefore, it's a wonderful feeling to come back, but we need to appreciate all the veterans. There are a lot of veterans that are out there that are homeless, they're struggling, just like some of the other folks. But these guys, like Danny's little saying that he had just now, you sacrifice your life.
That's right.
And I was a volunteer. And some people were forced in there, and while other people were still set back here. And some of those freedoms and the opportunity that you're giving them for being out here in America. So we should always honor all the armed forces and all the people that have served as veterans. And so I appreciate all you guys.
And I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harding. Mr. Gidry?
Yeah, and I too sacrifice. I like to recognize and let you know how appreciative it is that you guys signed up and were willing to sacrifice your life in protection of this country. I mean, and those of you that did see battle, I know it changes you. You know, it changed my family members. And you also, I know it changed you by losing close friends and people. These are experiences that you have that others don't. So when we talk about the museum, they say if you don't learn from history, history repeats itself. So not only do you, when you go to the museum, do you get to see a piece of history, you get to talk to history, because oftentimes you guys are there. And you can tell the stories and maybe share how precious life is to those people coming in. If they would learn these sorts of things, maybe these shootings and all of these things that we have going on, you know, may lessen. You know, you guys have you have an experience that is unique, and it's a result of your sacrifice. So I appreciate you. I appreciate everything that you do, and I know, you know, I've tried to support the museum as much as possible. I ask anybody looking out there, please support the museum, support our history, help learn from it so we don't repeat it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, and thank you so much. We all support you guys, and it was just so wonderful to see so many heroes in our audience today.
Thank you.
Thank you. All
Thank you very much.
Item B, a proclamation proclaiming April 2023 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month in Houma, Terrebonne. It is my great honor to read this proclamation today. Whereas every 68 seconds, an American is sexually assaulted, and every 9 minutes, that victim is a child. And whereas 9 out of every 10 victims of rape are females, and whereas 94% of women who are raped experience symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder during the 2 weeks following, and 30% of women report symptoms of PTSD 9 months after rape, and whereas 33% of women who are raped contemplate suicide, and 13% of women who are raped attempt suicide, and whereas out of every 100 rapes, 40 are reported, 10 lead to an arrest, and 8 are prosecuted, 4 lead to a conviction, and 3 rapists will spend a day in prison, and 97 rapists will walk away free. And whereas in the year of 2022, The Haven answered 165 hotline sexual violence crisis calls and served 73 primary survivors of sexual violence with 184 individual therapy sessions, 73 group therapy sessions, and 69 survivors receiving medical advocacy. And whereas victims should have support to find the compassion, comfort, and healing they need, and sexual perpetrators should be punished to the full extent by the law. While important partnerships have been formed among criminal justice agencies, allied professionals, and victim services to assist victims of sexual violence and their families, and whereas it is important to recognize the compassion and dedication of the individuals who provide services to victims of sexual violence and work to increase public awareness of sexual violence and its prevalence, and to eliminate it through prevention and education, and whereas our parish has a moral obligation to work on the prevention of sexual assaults and the severe trauma it causes to those affected. And now there be it resolved that the Terrebonne Parish Council, on behalf of the parish president and the entire Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government, hereby proclaim the month of April 2023 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month, presented this 26th day of April 2023. This is signed by Parish President Gordon E. Dove, myself, Council Chairwoman, and endorsed by the entire Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Council. Do we have anybody to accept this proclamation tonight? Thank you so much.
That is the organization they represent. I don't know the full, right off the top of the head.
We at The Haven would just like to thank you guys for all of your support and recognition, especially during April, the Sexual Assault Awareness Month. We really appreciate everything that you guys do and the support that you guys have. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Item C, a proclamation proclaiming the week of May 7th through 13th, 2023 as National Travel and Tourism Week in Terrebonne Parish. And I apologize, I had a letter from Mr. Michel that I didn't read. However, he has to be out tonight. Do we know who's reading that proclamation? Okay, I'm sorry. Mr. Dirk Guidry.
Whereas Terrebonne Parish Police Jury established the Houma Terrebonne Tourist Commission in ordinance number 1977 on May 3rd, 1978. And whereas Act 47 of the May 1995 Louisiana legislative session recreated the Houma Terrebonne Tourism Commission as a political subdivision of the state. And whereas May 1999 legislation changed the name of the Houma Terrebonne Tourist Commission to the Houma Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. And whereas the Houma Area Convention and Visitors Bureau, the destination marketing organization for Terrebonne Parish, funded by local accommodations such as hotels, motels, bread and breakfasts, RV sites, and fishing camps. And whereas the Houma Area Convention and Visitors Bureau was named the 2018 Louisiana Travel CVB for the year, a named certified retirement community, Bayou Country Mardi Gras, named as top 20 event by the Southeast Tourism Society, awarded and the designation international accreditation, and whereas according to the 2021 tourism impact studies of the Terrebonne Parish, visitors to Terrebonne Parish generated $203 million in spending, which produced over $25 million in state and local taxes. If it were not for the state and local taxes paid by visitors to the Terrebonne Parish, each household would have to pay $588 more in additional taxes. And whereas Terrebonne Parish hospitality and tourism industry employs over 2,740 direct jobs and created $72 million indirect earnings. And whereas Terrebonne National Travel and Tourism Week, established by President Reagan in 1883, is a celebration where communities nationwide unite in showcasing travel's contributions to American jobs and economic impact. Whereas this year's theme is moving #forward, #travel forward, which will be highlighted and celebrate the different ways travel matters and makes a difference each day within the American workforce, economic growth, and personal well-being. And whereas Explore Houma will participate in a week-long celebration with various events focusing on thanking our local travel and tourism industries, partners, and encouraging citizens in surrounding areas to explore our parish's wonderful, unique experience. Now, therefore, it be resolved by the Terrebonne Parish Council on behalf of the Terrebonne Parish President and the entire Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government, we proclaim the week of May 7th, 13th, 2023 as National Travel and Tourism Week, presented on this 26th day of April 2023, signed by Parish President Gordon Dove and Council Chairwoman Jessica Domingue. Is anybody in the audience to receive this?
Yes, they are.
Mr. Pledger, that is for religious community.
Okay.
Now, she's not doing background issue.
No, sir. If you look at your agenda.
So they have two other people.
Yes, sir.
So Sasson's going to $1 and she's going to take a place.
I believe so. For Tark, the previous person.
So Teresa's not going to.
Teresa's not going back because somebody's ill and she can't fill out the application. So they submitted the application resume.
And I want to
Ready?
I know we know you, but let's go ahead. Can you please state your name and who you're representing?
So good evening. My name is Sandra Corbett. I'm the Executive Director for Explore Houma. So with me tonight, I have some of my board members and staff member, Ms. Judy Smart, Ms. Julie Falgo, who is our chair, and of course, everyone knows Tyler DePlanis. What I would like to say, just want to accept our sincere gratitude for the National and Travel Tourism Week proclamation you guys presented to us tonight. During this week, we plan to highlight the tourism industry and its impact to our community. Our board and our team are very dedicated to continue to promote and market Terrebonne Parish as a destination to visit, live, and work. And of course, we cannot express enough to thank our community partners who share the same values of developing a viable community. Once again, we thank you for your support and what you do for this community. So let's move forward together. That's all, yeah.
Thank you so much, and thank you for everything you guys do.
All right, we appreciate you guys.
Now I'm just going to the museum.
Item D.
Tell me, I'll get it to you.
A proclamation proclaiming the week of May 17th through the 13th, 2023, as Drinking Water Week in Terrebonne Parish. Mr. Darren Guidry.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. It's with my pleasure that I read this. It says, whereas water is our most valuable natural resource, and whereas drinking water serves a vital role in daily life, serving an essential purpose to health, hydration, and hygiene needs for the quality of life of our citizens to enjoy. Whereas tap water delivers public health protection, fire protection, support for our economy, and the quality of life we enjoy every day. Whereas the hard work performed by the entire water sector, designing capital projects, operators ensuring the safety and quality of drinking water, are a member of the pipe crew, maintaining the infrastructure communities rely on to transport high-quality drinking water from its source to customers' taps. And whereas the coronavirus pandemic has shone a light on the importance of drinking water for health, hydration, and hygiene needs, and whereas we are all stewards of the water infrastructure upon which current and future generations depend. And whereas the citizens of our parish are called upon to help protect our source waters from pollution and get involved with their water by educating and familiarizing themselves with it. Now, therefore, by the Terrebonne Parish Council, on behalf of Parish President Gordon E. Dove and the entire Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government, that May 7th through the 13th, 2023, be hereby proclaimed Drinking Water Week 2023, presented this 26th day of April 2023, signed by Parish President Gordon E. Dove, Council Chairwoman Jessica Domingue, and endorsed by the entire Terrebonne Parish Council.
Suck it in if we're going to stay. We're not.
Just want to introduce you.
Can you please state your name and who you're representing?
I'm Chester Boise, and I'm president of the Board of Commissioners. We're here tonight to express our appreciation for the Parish Council proclaiming Drinking Water Week. And I'd like to introduce our board members who are in attendance. Mr. Charles Brown, stand up. Vincent Celestin, C.J. Stufley, John Pizzolato, and Wilbert Thomas. There he is. And I'd like to turn it over to our general manager, Michael Chauvin.
Thank you, Mr. Chester. Madam Chairwoman, council members, thank you all very much. Councilman Guidry read the proclamation, and I got, I guess, kind of chills. It's really good until it's not there anymore. And of course, all of you know, 2 years ago, Hurricane Ida visited us for certainly the first time in our history. We lost water in all of Terrebonne Parish. The water was not boiled water. We had no water. This organization collects no taxes. Everything we do is strictly fee for service. In other words, we buy water, we process it, we sell it, and that's how we make our money. Those gentlemen that were just introduced have committed in excess of $15 million of our money to repair a water system really bad that we've been able to patch together and keep working now for 2 years. And we're going to be a lot better off in another year or two with better water, better infrastructure. We're taking particular attention to both of our hospitals, both Terrebonne General as well as Chabert, with separate water lines to give them a redundancy second to none to keep water in those places. We do that by having almost 100 employees in all walks of life, engineers, accountants, chemists, microbiologists, lab techs, everybody that works. All of us eventually will wind up working 24/7, 52 weeks out the year. We never close. We have in excess of 45,000 metered customers with over 50,000 units. And again, as I said, we have no taxes. We were just graded by the state of Louisiana Department of Health, and received an A rating, the top that you can get in any classification. We could not do it without your continued support, and we continue to ask for that. And please, if we're not perfect, we make mistakes. I hate to say it, but we do make mistakes. But if you let us know, I don't think you'll find anybody that will work harder to correct that mistake and hopefully not do the same thing twice. Thank you very much, Council.
All right, stay up here. We have a few lights. Mr. Dirk Guidry?
Mr. Sobad, Mr. Chester, y'all do a great job. The whole board, y'all do a fantastic job. You know, and I was telling somebody that earlier, and there was a couple of board members when I was walking up. I never get any complaints about you guys, you know. There's very seldom I'll ever have a call on the Waterworks District. But when I do, I call Mr. Sobar, and it's fixed right away, and he returns my phone calls, does a great job, you know. And like you said, you know, y'all got an A in the Waterworks District. You know, you start looking on TV at all these water districts that are failing, you know, and I think there's one in Louisiana that just got a D-. So, and some of them in Michigan that, I mean, you wouldn't even want to drink or even bathe. Right. And you know, I didn't learn how important water was until Hurricane Ida. I live way down the bayou in Chauvin, and it was 20-something days I had no water running in my house. I was taking a bath or trying to take a bath with bottled water, but it didn't really matter too much because everybody else stunk with me, you know what I mean? So, but you know, we know the importance of electricity. We can live without electricity, guys. We cannot live without water.
Thank you.
You know, so y'all do a bang-up job. Thank y'all for what y'all do. I know we're gonna have a few members that we're gonna have to be changing on your board here pretty soon. So let's just hope we can get some new members that's just as dedicated as the members you have now, Mr. Sobar. So
we hope so.
Thank y'all for what y'all do. God bless you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Guidry. Mr. Steve Trosclair?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair. And Mike, you and Dirk stole most of my thunder, so I'm going to play third base. But I'm going to read something again. Whereas drinking water serves a vital role in daily life, serving an essential purpose to health, hydration, hygiene needs for the quality of our life, of our citizens enjoy. That was never proven with any stronger words during the Hurricane Ida event. Like Dirk said, I can live personally in my household can live a lot better without electricity than we can without water. You know, we all holler for electricity, but when you're without water, it's something you take for granted. Most people walk to the faucet open and don't even think twice about it. But when you open that faucet, nothing comes out, and you can't flush your toilet, and you got, you know, those needs are there, and there's no way to take care of them.
That's right. So,
you know, we take a lot of this stuff for granted until it's not there. I got a new appreciation on water since Hurricane Ida, and I really appreciate what you, all your team members, and your board our board, because y'all represent the parish, okay? So, y'all do a fantastic job. Keep up the good work. And if there's anything me or this council can do to help you guys out, feel free to help.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Trosclair. Mr. Pledger.
Thanks, Madam Chair. This is a bittersweet moment for myself, and a lot of you guys know that. And it's because of the simple fact my dad served on that board for a long time. And for you guys to recognize me, and I grew up under a lot of you guys, it's really bittersweet for myself. My mom, she's back there too, and she's seeing this. My dad was on the board for 18, 20 years. And I would hear the conversations that he would have with Mr. Pizzolatto, with Mr. Celestin, Mr. Brown, all these guys that I'm sitting here now in front of you guys as a representative, the council member for District 1. But it's really, really touching for me to know that the waterworks are still doing good. Thanks, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pledger. And thank you for all you guys do.
Thank you, Chairman.
Item E, a proclamation proclaiming the day of May 4th, 2023 as Star Wars Day in Terrebonne Parish. Mr. John Amity.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and it's with great pleasure that I read this proclamation. Whereas Star Wars Day is a commemorative day observed annually on May 4th to celebrate the Star Wars media franchise, and whereas May 4th was picked as a day as a play on the May the 4th be with you tagline that the Star Wars franchise is known for, and whereas the first organized Star Wars Day took place in Toronto on May 4th, 2011, and whereas Terrebonne Parish residents first celebrated Star Wars Day on May 4th, 2021, and whereas this year's Star Wars Day will be held in downtown Houma on May 4th, 2023, featuring live music, costume contests for both adults and children, lightsaber demonstrations, and photo opportunities with Star Wars characters. And whereas this and other local events are what makes the community of Terrebonne Parish and its citizens so special, and whereas all proceeds from this year's celebration will go to the Ellender Memorial High School's band program. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the entire Terrebonne Parish Council on behalf of Parish President Gordon E. Dove and the entire Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government that May 4th, 2023 be declared as Star Wars Day in Terrebonne Parish, and that the public of Terrebonne Parish be invited to participate in the festivities. It's signed by Gordon E. Dove, Parish President, Jessica Domain, Council Chairwoman, on behalf of the entire Parish Council. And I'd like to take a moment and ask Bo-Katan Kreese and her Mandalorians to come up and accept this, and I'm excited to be able to give it to you. Thank you, everyone.
I really should. As much as some of it. Chris, get that age, man.
I know what y'all doing hanging around with Randy, but
I never watched Star Wars. No, I never watched. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Huh? Oh, I watched it. Yeah, I mean, yeah. They had much else on TV to watch. You had to watch.
You guys are coming out if you want to say something.
Thank you.
Just let it flow. I'm sorry, I got so excited, I sat in the wrong seat. Now, before we start, I imagine, and I probably put money on that, we are the only council in the United States that has done a proclamation for Star Wars Day, which is so cool. I mean, when you guys walked in, I giggled a little bit, and I was trying to be serious. But thanks for bringing this to us. It's really, really cool. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Randy Hawthorne, organizer of the May the 4th celebration here in Terrebonne Parish. Just want to thank the council, thank for all involved for helping put this thing together, and we just look forward to showing Terrebonne Parish a good time.
And we have a light, Mr. John Amity.
So again, I want to thank you guys for doing this. I think the community is going to be excited about it, and they all need to go get some Zacks. That's all I got to say.
I agree. Thank you.
Yes, and can you tell us a little bit about your about the event.
Yeah, so this is our third annual event. We started, our first one was May the 4th, 2021, in the parking lot of Zach's Yogurt. Then it grew after Ida. It significantly grew that second year, and we started picking different schools each year. So now we've grown into something that the whole parish can really enjoy now. We're going to have food for sale. We'll have live music from the Caniacs. We'll have lightsaber demonstrations, costume contests for adults and kids. Entrance is free. Yeah. That's it.
And is everybody encouraged to dress up?
They are encouraged to dress up. They are. I will be dressed up. I'm sure some other people here will be dressed up.
And one of the council members asked, what time is the event?
Oh, the event is from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m.
So 5 to 9 on May the 4th.
On May the 4th. May the 4th.
In
Courthouse Square, and also Good Street and Boulanger behind the Parish IT building.
Okay. Well, we look forward to it. I will be there with my children. They're so excited, and we can't wait to see all the costumes. It's going to be a really, really cool event.
Thank you. We appreciate it. And we have something for you guys as well.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. So we have 2 official invitations. We'd like to give y'all one for President Dove and one for the council.
Okay.
Officially inviting you guys to our May the 4th celebration.
Wonderful. You can go ahead and give it to Miss Tammy.
No.
Choose wisely.
Thank you so much. That's so cool.
Thank y'all.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
Make a motion that we go into 6:30 public hearing.
I have a motion to go into 6:30 public hearing by Mr. John Amity, a second by Mr. Dirk Guidry. Members, vote your machines.
Okay.
We're going into 6:30 public hearing. We'll give a minute for the room to clear out. Public hearing. Item A, an ordinance to amend the 2023 adopted operating budget, 5-year capital outlay budget, and budgeted positions of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following items and to provide for related matters. 1, Houma Downtown Development, $5,782. Houma Fire Department, a credit of $26,302. Add on 1 deputy chief, grade F5, eliminate 2 firefighters, grade F1. Planning Department, $8,589. Add 1 permits technician, grade 109, eliminate 1 administrative coordinator, 2, grade 106. Public once, public twice, third time public. Motion to close by Mr. Dirk Guidry, second by Mr. Carl Harding. Members, vote your machines. Public is closed. Motion to adopt by Mr. Dirk Guidry, second by Mr. Brian Pledger. Member, vote your machines. We have 8 yeas. Motion passes. We have a motion to go back in regular order by Mr. Dirk Guidry and a second by Mr. John Amity. Members, vote your machines. We have 8 yeas. We're going back into regular order. Public wishing to address the council. Ms. Sherry Champon, a Terrebonne Parish resident, wishes to address the council regarding chemical spraying throughout the parish. Is Ms. Sherry here tonight? Ms. Sherry's not here. We have one more speaker card. Ms. Darlene Williams of 312 Linda Ann Avenue would like to speak about nuisance and abatement. Ms. Linda. I'm sorry, Darlene. I'm off my game tonight, Ms. Darlene.
That's all right.
Please state your name and your address.
Darlene Williams, 312 Linda Ann Avenue, Gray, Louisiana, 70359. And I'm here tonight to address the council about nuisance abatement. Well, my main reason is because I was coming to see if there could be some kind of reform to complaints, because there are being complaints that's being passed over through nuisance abatement bogus complaints, and I feel that it's being abused to the system, because I've gotten a whole bunch of complaints on things that I think is irrelevant. I know people call the system because to try to get even with people, or if they're mad with someone, or trying to just cause trouble for somebody. So I've gotten all these complaints right here, and that's what made me came tonight. Look like there should be some other kind of way to, if somebody going to call and complain on someone, I would like it to be where they would have to fill out some kind of card. Sometimes they call anonymously, or sometimes they give their names. And they should be able to, like the Board of Health, they have to fill out a form with their names, address, phone number on the form in the office, because all these complaints that I've got, I know it's from my sister Wanda Henderson, trying to get even. I've talked to Chris about it. I've talked to the council member about it, and I just feel that that should be some other kind of orders put in for when they want to file a complaint. You know, giving their names or coming into the office showing the ID, and then instead of the person getting all these warning letters in right away, and code enforcement and everything. And every complaint that I've had, I've acted on it right away. And it wasn't really, should have been a complaint. But they're taking the complaint and acting upon what this person is saying, and then going out and giving these people warnings and everything. And I just feel there should be some other kind of way that they could reform this situation, instead of people just being able to call because they're trying to get even with somebody, or mad with somebody, or try to get somebody in trouble. And that's why I'm here tonight. I spoke with Chris several times about that situation. I spoke with my councilman about it. So I think the best thing for me to do is try to address the council with it. Because with the Board of Health, I know she's tried it with them, but they said that she had to fill out a form with her name, address, phone number, and everything. And then after they go out and check the situation, then they look at them after that. And where my properties are on Johnson Ridge, my properties are well more maintained than some of the other properties on Johnson Ridge. I have to give it that. And even if I get a complaint, if I think it's really, I get on the complaint right then and there. Because all these complaints, even some more I even have from before, and I don't think it's fair. I really don't, because I keep up my properties. And even after the hurricane last time, she complained about that, and I didn't even wait until the people came by to tear it down. I paid a gentleman myself to tear the mobile home down, just to keep from having a complaint on my file. And I think what it is that she's trying to do is trying to get a lien on my property for stuff that doesn't even make sense. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here to address the comment.
All right, well,
Motion to extend.
motion to extend. We have a motion to extend by Mr. Dirk Guidry and a second by Mr. Brian Pledger. Members, vote your machines. We have 8 yeas. We're going to extend you for one more minute, okay?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Wait.
The green light, right on the mic.
Okay.
There you go. Oh, there you go.
No, are we pressing at the same time?
Y'all both playing with it, yeah.
Somebody needs to.
I'll press it. No, it's not working.
That's on, dope.
No, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Okay.
I really would appreciate if something could be done about that, because it's really taking a toll on me. Yeah, it really upsets me when I get all these letters and stuff in, and I do my best to keep everything up the way it's supposed to be. And if y'all would just even take a ride on Johnson Ridge, see some of these other properties, my Lord, they really need to be condemned.
Yes,
but I don't get into that. That's their business. I'm not reporting anybody. I could have done that, but I'm not going to do that. It's not for me to do.
Well, thank you so much for bringing this to our attention. We do have one light. Mr. Steve Trosclair.
I'm gonna wait till she sits down, please.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Darlene.
Thank y'all.
Okay, Mr. Dirk.
I just got one quick question.
Yes, sir.
Is this complaints all from the same person?
Yes, my sister, Wanda Henderson. Yeah, it is from the same person.
Can y'all take that into consideration?
No.
Chris?
It won't.
No.
Oh,
You got to, well, I'm
it's
talking
horrible.
You got to go through it whether, go ahead, ask Mr.
It's bad.
Chris?
Yeah, I was gonna put my light on. So, I mean, we don't pick or choose what complaints we follow up on or not. That's not how we operate. Every complaint we get, we take for what it is, but we do send somebody out to go verify it. Now, we're not just going to blindly send out letters just based on some report we get over the phone, especially if it's anonymous. So we do send an inspector out to verify, and if there is merit to that complaint and there is a violation there, then we follow up accordingly.
Yeah, because I just didn't want you guys having to go and do something that, you know, waste your guys' time, because the parish is in such a deplorable condition with derelict structures and grasses that we don't need to go on false calls, you know, so.
Right.
All right, I was just wondering, Chris, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pulaski. Thank you, Ms. Darlene.
So y'all want to try and do?
We're going to follow up with you.
Okay,
Yes,
all right,
ma'am.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Steve Trosclair?
Yes, Chris, I have a question. So it is possible people actually file these complaints in anonymously?
Yes. If you go to the parish's website, for example, there's an online form where you can report anything from a nuisance violation to a pothole request, and you can request to remain anonymous.
Is it mandated by law that we have an anonymity in it?
I'm not aware of any law. Now, what Jules and I were...
think if someone is going to file a complaint, they should notify who's filing the complaint. And we should know who's filing the complaint. I don't think, now if we have an inspector happen to be riding down the street, he sees something, that's his job. But if, I just, my personal opinion, I think if someone feels it's bad enough to call it in, they ought to at least acknowledge who's making the complaint. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Trosclair. Mr. Harding?
Yes. First, I would like to say that, from the seat that I sat in, I personally, if there's something that's blatantly wrong within my district and can't make any contacts, I would personally report that. But that has very rarely happened. I generally don't try to get into civil matters. I understand what Ms. Williams is saying. It's one thing to get complaints after complaints, and perhaps the person is anonymous. Even if you know the person actually reveals their name, it's like Chris is saying, is that they have to respond to the complaint. Our system that we have, I think, across the board should be perhaps revamped, because just as Ms. Williams said, that she don't get into other people's business, but there are a number of people that have come to me. I'm sure there are other council members that are up here have run into similar circumstances where if you have two houses on the block, one house get tagged, and the other house would be considered in one person's eyes worse than the house that was tagged, then it's natural for an individual to feel as if that they actually has been done wrong. So regardless of whether the system is correct or not, because we have a job to do to follow up on complaints. If we can revamp that, I think I can agree with what Mr. Trosclair has, just to look at it. And so, Ms. Williams, attendance here tonight, I'm sure you have the attention of this board and the administration. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harding. Mr. Babin?
Yeah, there's two sides to every coin, and as Mr. Pledge and I were just talking about, I don't like anonymous calls, personally. But there are some people who may, if the name is put on there, they may want to retaliate against that individual. So, I mean, there are two sides to it. In years past in the parish, I think it required a name on it. And then maybe 12 or so years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, we went to an anonymous call. I would like to look into this and see if we couldn't get a better system. I know you and I have spoken about this, Chris, here recently. When we went down Grand Kaya, there's a lot of places that need to be checked into and that are worse than some of the ones that we're taking a look at. And that happens in all 9 of the districts. But as far as the anonymous calls, I personally do not like an anonymous call. Stand up and be counted. Don't hide behind a keyboard or a telephone and put your name to it. Again, I do worry, like Brian and I said, maybe about retaliation, but I think if it's egregious enough, somebody doesn't mind putting their name in there. Maybe it'll stop some of these and make your department more efficient. So I don't know if I want to make it in the form of a motion, but if it's something that, when you're not doing anything, Chris, maybe take a look at it. Okay, I think it might be beneficial for the parish. Okay, and then maybe down the line we can put it as an agenda item. Okay, to discuss. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Babin. Thank you, Mr. Pulaski. Item 3, committee reports. A, Community Development and Planning Committee, Mr. John Amity.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I make a motion that the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Community Development and Planning Committee held on April 24, 2023, and I have one public hearing. An ordinance to dedicate and accept the maintenance operation of the streets, drainage servitudes, and rights-of-way for Imperial Landing Subdivision Phase B, energize and accept the streetlights, and to incorporate Sample Drive and the extension of Sucrose Drive and Refinery Drive into the enhanced 911 emergency response system for the purpose of providing a better means of locating addresses and calling a public hearing on Wednesday, May 10th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. John Amity, a second by Mr. Dirk Guidry. Members, vote your machines. We have 8 yeas. Motion passes. Item B, Public Services Committee, Mr. Carl Harding.
Yeah, I make a motion that the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Public Service Committee meeting held on April 24, 2023, and I have no public hearings.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Harding, a second by Mr. Amity. Members, vote your machines. We have 8 yeas. Motion passes. Item C, Policy, Procedure, and Legal Committee, Mr. John Amity.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. I make a motion that the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Policy, Procedure, and Legal Committee held on April 24, 2023, and I have no public hearings.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. John Amity, a second by Mr. Dirk Guidry. Members, vote your machines. We have 8 yeas. I'm sorry, Mr. Dirk. Okay. All right. We have 8 yeas. Motion passes. Item D, Budget and Finance Committee, Mr. Dirk Guidry.
I'll make a motion that the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Budget and Finance Committee held on April 24, 2023, and I have 2 public hearings. One, an ordinance to amend the 2023 adopted operating budget and 5-year capital outlay budget of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following items and to provide for related matters. Animal shelter, $40,000. Lake Boudreaux living mitigation, $4,000. Bayou Terrebonne Pump Station, $330,000. Montague Boat Launch, $150,000. Bayou Sports Complex, $16,000. And call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, May 10, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. And number 2, an ordinance to adopt millage rates for the year 2023 with no roll forward, and call a public hearing on Wednesday, May 10, 2023 at 6:30 p.m.
We have a motion by Mr. Guidry and a second by Mr. Babin. Members, vote your machines. We have 8 yeas. Motion passes. Item 4, streetlights. As per by Mr. Dirk Guidry. Second by Mr. Brian Pledger. Members, vote your machines. We have 8 yeas. Motion passes. Item 5, appointments to various boards, committees, and commissions. Recreation District 2-3 Board, 3 expiring terms on 5/31/23. Mr. Chad Adams expresses his interest in being reappointed. Mr. Sean Dupre expresses his interest in being reappointed.
Motion to open, close, and appoint Mr. Adams and Mr. Dupre and hold over the third.
We have a motion to open, close, and appoint Mr. Adams, Mr. Dupre, and hold over the third by Mr. Darren Guidry, and a second by Mr. Carl Harding. Members, vote your machines. Motion passes. Item B, Recreation Number 5 Board, 1 vacancy due to resignation. Mr. Jared Bourne submits application for consideration.
Open, close, and appoint Mr. Bourne.
Second.
We have a motion to open, close, and appoint Mr. Bourne by Mr. Steve Trosclair, second by Mr. John Amity. Members, vote your machines. We have 8 yeas. Congratulations, Mr. Bourne. Item C, TARC, 3 expired terms on 5/31/2023. Ms. Donaldson expresses her interest in being reappointed. Mr. Ronald Chasson expresses his interest in being reappointed. And Ms. April Giles submits application and resume for consideration.
Motion to open, close, and reappoint Ms. Donaldson, Mr. Chasson, and Ms. Giles. Appoint her, yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion to reappoint Ms. Donaldson, Mr. Chasson, and appoint Ms. Giles by Mr. Dirk Guidry, and a second by Mr. Carl Harding. Members, vote your machines. 8 yeas. Congratulations on your appointment. Item 6, vacancies to various boards, committees, and commissions. Recreation District Number 2-3 Board, 1 expired term as of May 31st, 2023, and 1 vacancy due to resignation. Recreation District Number 11 Board, 1 vacancy due to resignation. Fire Protection District Number 5 Board, 1 expired term. Fire Protection District Number 6 Board, 1 vacancy due to a resignation. TITA, 2 expired terms. Terrebonne Parish Tree Board, 3 vacancies due to resignation. Announcement, Parish President, Mr. Toops, do we have any announcements?
No, ma'am, thank you. Ms.
Okay, all right, Ms. Candace Malden.
Ran out of money.
No, we would have started the meeting with that one. We just have an announcement that we need to make. Please be advised that the Terrebonne Parish Council may consider resolutions calling for an election with regard to certain tax propositions after a public meeting to be held on May 24th, 2023 at 6 p.m. at its regular meeting place, 8026 Main Street, Houma, Louisiana. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Malden. Parish Council, do we have any announcements? Mr. Harding.
Yes, on tomorrow at 3:30. That's going to be a housing authority meeting held at the main library. And if you want to fill out a speaker card, you got to be there 10 minutes before to allow yourself the opportunity to speak there. So I want to make that announcement again. Housing authority 3:30, main library, April 27, 2023.
Thank you, Mr. Harding. Mr. Babin.
Yeah, I brought this up before, and I just want to remind everybody, we've been building the Bio Community Foundation along with the Mennonites out of Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, have been building homes in Grand Kaya. As of June the 1st of this year, we'll have completed 24. Every Thursday, we have a dedication of a home, and actually tomorrow is one in Grand Kaya. So I just urge any one of y'all who may want to see what it's like when these people receive a home, that their home was totally destroyed and they're getting a home free of charge. It's quite rewarding to see it. So if you need any information on it, just give me a call. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Babin. Mr. Guidry.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. As of May 1st, Monday, the inshore brown shrimp season opens up for all our inside waters in Zone 2. So these guys are having a real hard time making a living anymore. I mean, this is one industry that started Terrebonne Parish. So if you guys need shrimp, go down to buyers after starting Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and go try to help support these guys, because we're losing vessels every day, and it's going to be an industry that Terrebonne Parish is losing the battle for right now. So whatever you can do to go help out and help them guys, I mean, it's bad when potted meat is cheaper than shrimp. So go out and support these local fishermen.
Thank you.
Shrimp is cheaper than potted meat. Yeah,
It's okay.
shrimp is cheaper than potted meat, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Guidry. We understood. Mr. John Amity.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to speak to all the members, all the residents in Terrebonne Parish. We have some forecasted weather for tomorrow coming through, and I just want to encourage everybody to, as you're out on the roads, just slow your road down a little bit. When we have these rains that drop in like that, the roads get kind of slick, and we see a uptick in car accidents. So again, leave a little early if you have to, so that way you don't get rushed into going somewhere. And please take your time, because our concerns are that we keep all of our residents. We don't want to lose any to car accidents. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Amity. Mr. Jules Hebert.
Just because this meeting is public, and there were some discussions just now about reporters and calling on our line about code violations and stuff. it is protected by the Public Records Act with exceptions. If the person who's calling in agrees to it, and a couple of other ones. So what I will do is I'll send everybody a copy of the state statute. It was passed in 2010, and that's probably when somebody probably heard of it, but that was put in force in 2010. That's protected under 44:4.1B, and it's adopted by a number, but the actual number is 33:4891. So I'll send it to everybody to look at.
Thank you, Mr. Hebert. Mr. Guidry? I'm sorry, Mr. Darren Guidry. Yeah.
Thanks, Madam Chair. And I just want to announce that we're quickly coming to the end of our FEMA road streetlight repair program. I think we have maybe 60 more days, and we hopefully should have the standard street lights repaired. And I also want to announce that the decorative piece, if you have a decorative light in your neighborhood that's not one of the standard aluminum or fiberglass poles, we've been informed by administration and Mr. Toops that they will begin staging, I believe, next week. And they plan to start in the field on May 8th, removing old infrastructure, and then following that, beginning to install the new lights. So we're excited about that. It's finally starting. We're going to start to see some progress. A lot of the parts have been in order. A lot of them have come in. So we should start seeing that decorative piece begin next month. Thank you.
Mr. Dirk Guidry.
Quick question, Jules. If you're saying that they could call it in anonymously, why the Board of Health, they got to have somebody that files a complaint if it's a state statute? Because when somebody calls the Board of Health for a problem, or their neighbor or something, they got to give their name, and the Board of Health goes to their house and inspects their house first, and then they go there, you know? If it's a state statute, why is it good for a state board?
All as I can tell you, Mr. Guidry, is that it's adopted in the state statute about having a hotline about code enforcement. And I don't know why the legislature's done it that way. And so I can send you the statute and send it to us. I'll send it to all of y'all to look at. See, the public records laws, have certain statutes that it's written out, but under 44:4.1, what they do is they go in and just adopt the statute by number. So this one's 44:B, and Title 33 is under parentheses, and everything that's in there means that these statutes is not subject to a public record. So, I mean, you really got to know a lot of law.
Yeah, well,
and keep up with it, but I'm just telling you.
You know, like Danny was just talking about a while ago, you know, he wouldn't like it to be anonymous. He'd like it to be able to give their names. Well, everybody down this, in my district, when they got a problem with the Board of Health or their neighbor, they call me. So if we would change this statute for nuisance abatement, then they're not going to write it down and then send it online and make a complaint. They're going to call the council person to do it, you know? Because if I call with the Board of Health, with a Board of Health problem, they don't come to my house. So, but they'll go to the person that's got a problem. But the same thing with Chris and all, you know what I mean? But they got to come to my house first, or, you know? But these two laws are just not right. It's not this. I mean, if we got to go abide by one state law, what about the other one, you know?
Mr. Hebert, can we please put this on the agenda for next week so that we can have a conversation? Yeah, if we can put it on the agenda next time to have another conversation. Thank you.
I don't want it on the agenda. She wants to put it up, but I don't.
Send you the statute. I don't have an answer.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
That's where you got to go to change it.
Yep.
Motion adjourned?
Motion adjourned by Mr. John Amity. We have a second by Mr. Brian Pledger.